I'm just here to warn you about one thing and one thing only. Egyptians, man, will never leave you. Like, they'll never leave you. And not in a good cutesy way. It's like in more of like a shameless, no boundaries kind of way. Like, the catcalling in that country is crazy. And let me tell you about it. So I'm just gonna share you my experience and everything about it. And I think some remedies maybe which I think worked in some places and things to just be aware of, things to be warned about, and what to watch out for all girls traveling to Egypt sometime soon or like in the future. So I think for my experience, the first thing was first, it was so extreme. I know, like, I heard about the catcalling in Egypt, but I've heard it mostly from like girls who are traveling with other girls and girls who travel alone and stuff like that. So I thought maybe they sort of like do that only for like girls or like just in like girls group or girls who are traveling alone. And I was like, oh, I won't get that. At least they'll be like, but no, that's not the case because, like, I think from my experience, in most of the time, I was traveling with a guy and I was walking around with a guy, and they still catcalled me. And I think my experience with catcalling, at least from the guys in my country, and the guys in my country don't even do catcalling as much. It's very rare for it to happen, but they only always do it for like girls who are like solo working or like it's usually just when girls are alone. It's never when girls are with like a partner or somebody like that. So I assume maybe that's like the universal standard for like catcalling. But apparently there's no standard for catcalling. Egyptian men will catcall you with your partner. They don't fucking care. And that's so shameless. Like they don't even like want it maybe like do it in a way that is mysterious, like you know where the calling is coming from because they'll turn 180 to like catcall you. So I think at some point I was just like trying to like make it like just fun and stuff because they'll start like asking you conversation. Oh, hey, where are you from? After calling you and stuff like that, and then they start bugging you in the back and asking you like where are you from and stuff like that. And I think like at some point it was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna make this a game. And I just tell them, oh, my name is Cleopatra. Because Cleopatra used to be a queen of Egypt. And then I was like, my name is Cleopatra, I'm from Egypt, acting like a local. I'm obviously not from Egypt. But, I mean, like, so I just decided to like make it a game out of it. And then because I realized when I do that, when I'm clearly giving them wrong answers, they'll get like annoyed at some point and then they'll leave my back off. And then I was like, this works. Because if you keep quiet, they're not leaving, they're just changing the questions and the angles and they keep on bragging on you. And at least that trick worked. Like giving them clearly wrong answers. So yeah, that was my experience. So I think you should just be aware that they're gonna catcall you shamelessly. I think I'll try to touch like a video, like a clip if I have. Like, and this is not just in Cairo. I think there is all over the places that we went, but I think it's a lot more in Cairo than in other places. Like in like so I think I only experienced it very few times. I can count the number of times that I felt people catcalled on me. But in Cairo it was like every 5 working seconds. I think at some minutes, sometimes I was even like worried what if they like attack me or something because they're so aggressive with the catcalling. They start like feeling physical fear. It's that much. It's just that much catcalling. Anyway, so it does get uncomfortable if you're wondering how it gets. It gets very uncomfortable. And because they're so shameless, I think you're the one who started to feel like the second degree shame. So like they just transfer the shame onto you. So I don't think there's a remedy for this. Just try to like give them like clear wrong answers. Because I think like some of the names that they tried to call me was like, oh, Africa. At some point they called me Miss Jamaica. And then at some point, they even and this is so weird because sometimes they call you Shakira. I wonder did they call every girl Shakira? And at first, I thought maybe they only called white girls Shakira, but I'm like that's just like they really have no clue what they're doing. So be prepared for that. And something else I wanted to say about the catcalling and like people trying to talk over you and stuff like that. I think I've had a friend who was sort of like trying to like respond to them because at some point they'll call you and start asking you like your name, like where you from. They'll follow you to the shop that you're working in, and there's a friend of mine who like tried giving them like the right answers, and she realized that they're not even looking for like the right answers. They're just looking to like disturb you. I feel like for them it's just a game. So the more you engage, the more irritated you will be because they're not in it like that. So I feel like the best option for you is to just like make it a game and mislead them as much as possible, because ignoring them would never work. So I think that's all I had to say about catcalling in Egypt. And I think I just wanted to emphasize that it's so extreme, guys. Like, it's so extreme. So be warned and be prepared for like an extra bandwidth of irritation, because they're never going to leave you back. Actually, something else that I wanted to mention was the fact that, so I thought the catcalling and stuff, like the Egyptian men being on your back, would end after you leave Egypt. And apparently, it does not end there. So, story time. Uh, After I left Egypt, I realized like this one day I just checked my Instagram and I realized like I have a lot of like new request messages on Instagram, only for me to go check, and it's like a bunch of random Egyptian guys trying to like introduce themselves. Hey, I'm Ahmed from Egypt. And I'm like, what the hell? So, so to say, Egyptian men will never leave your back. Like even after you leave the land, they'll be in your DM. And I think for Instagram, probably just using like they're just checking whoever uses the hashtags from Egypt, and then they're like, "Oh, you're in Egypt. Let me come on your DM," kind of situation. Because I don't think they know like who they're reaching out to. They're just like doing a guess. They're still in the country and they can still bag on you and stuff like that. So it's just annoying in that way. But just be warned that they will never leave you back. Until next time, adios.